In this video, you are going to learn a mindset shift that will definitely help you become a better trader. It'll help calm your emotions, and I have a feeling you're going to really enjoy this. So make sure you stay to the end of the video and let's jump right into it. All right, guys, so I'm going to start it off with a little story about how for the last probably my whole trading journey, honestly, until the last about month and a half, this is how I went about my day. This is how I went about how I would enter trades, all that kind of stuff. And I don't mean like on the charts. I mean the mindset I would have going into a trade. So you guys know by now, I've talked about this plenty times on previous videos. I'm very into manifestation, right? I'm into journaling. I'm into putting out those positive thoughts and emotions out there into the universe in hopes that they will come back, right? And for most part, they have. And whether you believe in that, whether you don't, that's entirely up to you. But for me, journaling and thinking positive thoughts throughout my day, when it comes to achieving goals, when it comes to just living a better everyday life, it helps me a lot. But what I've realized is in trading, thinking positive thoughts is irrelevant. And I will be explaining why, and I think you're going to completely understand what I'm saying here shortly. But what I would do before I would enter a trade is I would sit there and I would visualize the trade winning, right? I would wake up in the morning, and before I would jump up on the charts, I would meditate. I don't meditate anymore, but I would sit there and I would visualize my trade setup, and then I would visualize it hitting take profit. I would even journal at times, this trade will hit TP and all that stuff, because I wanted the manifestation, the positive thinking to transfer over and hopefully somehow make my trade hit TP. And I know it sounds really funny, but I've seen videos of this before. I've seen videos of people saying you should visualize your trade winning, you should visualize it, visualize your plan, hitting take profit, all that good stuff. And it's so funny because I would go into the trade expecting to win, and all that was doing for me was increasing my emotions for when the trade didn't work out. If it didn't work out, even though it was to plan and I know that not every trade is going to work out, I still would be a little bit upset or bugged because I had convinced myself and I had visualized that the trade was already going to win. So then when it didn't, I felt down, I felt a little bit emotional, and I felt a little sad and bugged because my brain thought the trade already worked out. So then when I'm watching the charts and it doesn't, it's a completely different story. So guys, before I jump to the next point, after sharing that little story here, I want to share with you guys a message that I wrote to myself. I journal a lot, right? So this was yesterday as I was sitting here waiting for a trade setup to work out. And this is a thought that just came to mind, and I wanted to write it down for you all. I'm going to read this out to you, and I think this is going to tie into the next point very nicely. So here we go. I hope you don't mind that I didn't memorize this. I don't have any cue cards. But anyway, expect a loss. That way, your emotions aren't high when it happens. Even if it's a trade to plan, humble yourself and remember that you are nothing in the market. Just a player. I have zero influence in price going up or down, so why do I act like I do? Why attach any emotion to a trade that you have no control over? The only thing we have control over in this game is taking our setups, sticking to our trading plan. If that is done, then we did our job. Job well done. Poems with Mac. But I hope that makes sense. If you need to listen to that one more time, do it. Rewind and then come back to this point. But the market is completely out of our hands. And visualizing, jumping up and down, doing backflips, doing yoga behind me, none of that is going to impact how the trade works. Literally nothing. The second we hit enter, the second we place our limit, our job is done and it's up to the market. Our plan is either going to work in that random trade outcome or it's not. And it's funny because these last 2 months, trading has been so much easier for me mentally because I have made a switch. I have made an adjustment that has made being in a trade a lot easier regardless of the outcome of the trade. So I saw this on Twitter. I can't remember who I saw this from, but I wanted to try it out before I shared it. And I just want to let you know that it worked very well. Okay. So if I apologize that I don't remember whose idea this is, but it was a great idea. So instead of visualizing the trade working out, I want you to start visualizing the trade not working out. So the second you get into that trade, say out loud, this trade is going to be a loss. This is an amazing trade to plan, but this is going to be a loss. and just think about it hitting your stop loss. And you may say, why would you do that? Because it has zero impact on the market going up or down. But what it does have an impact on is your expectations. You're already expecting that the trade is going to lose, so your emotions aren't going to care. Your emotions aren't going to be high if it does lose. And then if it wins, that's awesome. I was expecting it to be a loss. This little trick has helped me so much because you're no longer going into a trade setup assuming that it's going to work, because that is never the case. And it's funny how I was doing this, I was manifesting trades working out a long time before I started seeing videos on YouTube about them. And it's funny because visualization works in terms of getting your mindset in a right space, right? Visualization works. You're not actually, doing some crazy mind tricks to make stuff happen. Visualization only works because it puts you in the mindset to go out and do it, right? At the end of the day, it's your actions to do stuff, right? It's your actions that get you to where you want to be, right? Like I can journal, I want to have a nice car, I want to have all these things, but if I'm not going out and actually exercising that, I'm not going out and actually taking action, then you're just sitting there completely delusional, right? Like it's a dream without action is just delusion, right? So it's funny how I tried to bring that way of thinking into my trading when in reality, the market is going to do whatever it wants to do. And relating back to like my little poem there, relating back to my little message there, we are very, very small players. We are very, very small fish in a massive, massive ocean, right? And it doesn't care. The market doesn't care what we do. The market doesn't go up when we buy and it doesn't go down when we sell, right? And we just have to realize that the only thing we have control over is our trading plan. The only thing we have control over is our emotions, right? That's literally it. When you strip it down, those are the only two things we have in control with the market. And when you adopt this way of thinking, your emotions are no longer going to be heightened. You're no longer going to be expecting a win, even on an A+ setup. And even when you have a high strike rate, it can be easy sometimes to expect trades to do something, right? Even if it looks the most perfect. And I know if you're watching this video right now, there's been setups that you think are going to work out 100% because it is an A+ setup. You see all your criteria and you're sitting there licking your lips. And when it loses, it sucks because you've put that expectation out there that it's going to do what you want it to do. The market lives without us. We're just tagging along, right? We're just jumping on for the ride. So try this mindset shift and let me know in the comments if it works. And I completely forget who said this on Twitter. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it has helped me a lot. I mean that. It has helped me a ton. It's the best way, in my opinion, to stay neutral because you're already expecting the worst outcome, right? And there's been a lot of, MMA fighters, professional fighters, professional athletes that instead of visualizing the best case scenario in something that they don't have that much control, in an outcome they don't have much control over, they think of the worst thing. So they put their mindset to the worst possibility that could happen. That way, if it happens, they've already lived it, right? Instead of just thinking that nothing can go wrong, which there's a lot of people out there that say to live that way. There's a lot of people to say that there's no such thing as bad things, and no matter what, you have to look at life in a positive lens. That may be true in some spots, but that cannot be the same mindset that you have towards your trading. So that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this little mindset trick. This is something that has worked so well for me recently, and I just wanted to jump on here and share it with you guys. If you enjoyed the video and you stayed till the end, please drop a like and comment. I appreciate it so much. Thanks again for 20,000 subscribers. You guys are absolutely amazing. What do I say at the end of every single video? Let's be 1% better every single day. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you on Sunday.